So let me see what you have first, and then I'll make comments. So, talking about that one, I will say you were a little bit too timid during the instrumentals, and you went for fills that barreled over the top of the lyrics at the same time. So, if we switch those, so for example, during the chorus, about halfway through the chorus, she's still singing, and you would go for one of those fills, and then like 2 bars later, when she finishes the line, you would go for it again. So. I don't think you need to do it in the middle. However, when the instrumental sections hit, there's no lyrics to trample over. You can kind of go for it. You know what I mean? Like it was just a little bit backwards in that regard. The other thing is I would like, again, we're looking for flavor changes, right? So there's kind of the big like after they get engaged moment where it just the climax of the song, really the very big the ending, we were still just on the ride like it was the rest of the choruses, and I wanted something a little bit bigger. There was another instrumental section that I wanted a little bit bigger. What I mean by that is it can be subtle, but the groove needs to change a tiny bit. So here's a good example of one that barely changes the volume, but changes the impact. All that is going to the bell. Ding, 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 ding. You get a significant enough feel change that you can feel that we're in a new section and that you're pushing the energy forward. You're building to the climax of this song. But without turning it into a halftime metal breakdown. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to get like Crusher level, like loud,
I would like to do that.
But bigger. Do you know what I mean when I say the
like
difference between bigger and louder?
Because bigger is like where it kind of reaches out more.
Yeah, there's some busy to it. It has more energy, but it doesn't necessarily need to get people covering their ears, right? So the snare doesn't have to get way louder. I'm not talking about playing the exact same groove, but playing it louder. I'm talking about changing things in a little way that creates a little more impact. Do you know what I mean? So I haven't worked with this song, but let me try it once. I'm gonna see if I can kind of show you the changes that I mean. Okay.
Use these.
You always love it when I use your sticks.
Yeah, because I have.
He'll probably.
I literally have a new bag at home.
Yeah, we had to go buy those. Are his last pair, so I had to go buy a new. Amazing how somebody crushes, you know.
They're sturdy.
Okay. So I might not get a lot of the hits exactly right. I've only listened to it, I think, 3 times while I was working with Mason. I'm gonna get splinters doing that on these. I felt it as soon as I went for it. Yeah, that's how my sticks break too. They break right here, not up here.
Actually, I had one that snapped the tip in half and just.
Oh yeah, actually, you're probably due for new ones because when the tip gets scratched like this, you'll start scratching your snare drum head.
Yeah, I just flipped
This one's still fine, but but when you're going crazy, you're doing all this stuff, the vibration spins and slides your stick. It doesn't stay in exactly the same spot. So, just something to know. Okay, so I know this is going up on YouTube, but
They can't hear the actual song.
I got it.
There we go. So whether you can mimic everything exactly the way that I played it, that's not exactly what I'm looking for here, but could you feel the difference between my choruses and stuff?
Yeah.
There were differences. So rather than all of them being right, there were differences. I came over here for the big instrumental section. I did a lot of these. I thought you might.
It got both of us to laugh.
I just sat there and go.
Well, that's why you practice that stuff, is to get a reaction out of people. So
I cannot do a stick flip with my left hand.
I couldn't either. I threw it and missed it a lot.
That's actually good.
But even as I'm demonstrating, I almost missed, right? The amount of times that I threw it too high and it hit me in the face are a lot. I did it a lot of times. So eventually you get good at it, you know. It's not, you know, Ellis DePario makes it look so easy, but the amount of times that he probably threw it at the floor and it didn't come back to him are probably thousands, you know.
Millions.
It could be.
And
Who
most.
knows? Who
And
knows?
most infinities.
But I remember, in order to get really good at those, just, you know, taking it easy, doing fills. Doing that kind of stuff in order to, even then I was dragging a little bit. I wasn't real clean on my time, but just doing things like that and practicing. You drop it, you pick it back up. I had a big thing of sticks right here, and I just sticks all over the floor, because every time I drop one I just pick up another one until I ran out of sticks and I'd scoop them all up. But anyway, that's how you practice those things. But that's not the important part of what I did.
It's practice.
No, the important thing was that without necessarily just crushing on the drums, I wanted to add a little bit more energy. I did a little double time thing for a minute. I did other stuff on the toms. I would use the crash cymbals a lot more, stuff like that. I was trying to create a different energy, particularly coming out of the bridge, right? Because that's where, like, boom, it hits. That's the proposal, I guess, is like the end of the bridge. And then the chorus is like, oh, cool, we're getting married, you know. So that's when it's, you know, it's biggest. But the other thing is that I think there was one, it was the very last chorus, I think, that I did a big fill over her words. But for the most part, I'm not trying to do big fancy fills over the words, because that's what people want, right? Taylor Swift is the star, not her drummer. So,
I'm ready for the drummers. I don't think the drummer's even there. It's like...
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're thinking the drummer in ready for it, it's the engineer who's on the keyboard or on the computer pushing the buttons and programming the drums in there.
Well, when you do on computers, you push buttons.
Yeah. You know, you still gotta be musical in order not to slander those people. You know, they gotta be musical in order to do that kind of stuff. But it's just not a drummer, I guess. It's an engineer. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah, you said okay. Is that a yes or a no? Yeah, okay. Because it isn't just for the sake of me showing off. I'm wanting to play so that you can get some ideas, you know? So the hi-hat and floor tom thing that she does in the verses, it wasn't exactly what was on, but did you see that I was doing some different flavor things? It was a little bit busier every time. I didn't start the build right away, also, was another one. I gave it about 2 bars before I brought in the build, instead of doing it the whole time. Oh, sure. But those are flavor choices. Okay, so let's run that one again. This time I want every chorus to feel at least a little bit different. Can you go for that this time? Yeah.
By the way, Taylor Swift has a boyfriend. I do not know where it comes from.
I
probably
could not care less.
You cannot what those?
I said I could not care less. Good for her.
Maybe his name's Julian.
It does not matter to me. I don't follow celebrity drama.
Do you follow
drama,
like
llama?
Ellis DePario? He's a celebrity.
What's that?
No drama, llama?
No. Ready? stop you real quick. We are starting off already too busy. It's going to make it a lot harder for you to build energy throughout the song if you're already this busy.
Yeah.
So I was doing some cymbal pings and stuff, very, very light, and leave a lot of open space, okay? We don't want to be ping, 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 ring, ding, 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 boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? Like, we're kind of creating a groove at that point. You want a lot of empty space. Do one little idea, ring, then let it sit. And then, boom, boom, let it sit. And then, ding, 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 let it sit, okay? Lots of empty space. I'm going to pull it back because this is important, okay? I actually did a lesson with Wyatt on this same thing a little while ago. So very important to leave all that extra space. That doesn't work. It only recognizes a finger. Plenty of space. Already better. So you'll get used to it the more time that you spend with it. I think the very, very last chorus, when you were on the bell and you were hitting those, I think that was the first one that I really felt like you understood what I was getting at. It was It was bigger without necessarily being louder. Every time I did this, I heard your volume go up, and then you would kind of do some extra ghosting things, but I still wasn't getting exactly what I was looking for. So I think if you spend a little bit more time with the song, you'll come to understand that yourself, because you're clearly listening. Right?
Yeah.
You feel that way? Because a lot of stuff that you're grabbing, there was another one where she used some triplets in her vocal line and you caught it on the bass drum, and I thought that was very nice, right? So you're listening to those things and you're catching them. So you're supporting her triplet line with your bass drum, right? Little listening things like that happen. So we just want to make sure that it's very easy when you're playing pop to play something that's kind of boring. And for a studio thing, or somebody who has a voice as nice as Taylor Swift, maybe it doesn't matter that the drummer is a little on the boring side. But when it's a live show and everybody's kind of showcasing what they can do, it's nice to be a little bit more interesting, but without dusting the other musicians, right? So it's a fine line to draw. But the more time, I think this one needs the most time. Enchanted also, I think, needs some cleaning up too. So those are your new ones. Don't ditch the other two. Still go back and review them every once in a while. But yeah, definitely spend more time on the new ones.
We just do like all the songs one
Okay.
time each choice.
Okay.
Or more than once. Most
Yeah,
of the time.
I'm thinking right now, I don't think you need to run the other ones more than once. You can spot pick, meaning if you play through a whole song and you felt that you had a good idea or something didn't go very well, you can go back to a certain spot and grill that. That's how I practice. When I'm learning new songs, if there's a spot that's just kicking my butt, I will go back and I will just work on that one spot. Or if I have a really cool idea, I'll go back and I'll add that idea and
Pay
then
attention,
maybe do another run. But you just want to be focused in the way that you do it. The easiest thing for musicians to do is to just play along to every song once, but without changing anything. You just let it happen. Okay, song number 2, you play it, you just let it happen. Go to song number 3, you let it happen. Song number 4, you let it happen. You're not growing, you're not getting better at it. You are memorizing it a little bit more every time, but that's not the kind of practice that people who are really good do, right? That's kind of amateurish practice. And you've gotten to a point now where I don't think we need to be practicing like that, right? You've gotten pretty good and you can have some focused practice, yeah? Okay, cool. Well,
Dad
I
told
think,
me that.
the one other thing, sorry, I'll let you finish, but there's one other thing that I forgot last time. I want to make sure I don't forget it. The floor tom and the bass drum are very similar sonically. So if you're getting into a situation where you're having to do these crisscross things and they don't feel particularly good, you can just use a bass drum for those things. You don't necessarily have to grab the floor tom because it gets awkward and uncomfortable. If you really want the floor tom, consider trying some stuff open-handed. I saw you do it the first time. The first time you played through, not this most recent one, but the other one, I saw near the end, you finally went to an open hand thing where you're doing left hand hi-hat, right hand floor tom. And that might help you grab what it is that you're trying to do rather than having to do these kinds of things. Okay?
Yeah.
And then now go ahead and say what it was you wanted to say. I just don't want to forget that.
I've really never been able to like go back to a certain spot on an iPod, you know?
Okay.
So Dad told me click this and then just go back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he can show you how to work that
Because
thing.
Dad's old school.
Well, I guess this is Mom's iPod, so.
Doesn't matter. iPod's an iPod.
Yeah.
Dad's just old school. If I could, I can go back to tape if you really want.
Wait a minute, that one's yours.
This one's mine, this one's Dad's. Oh, wrong one. I put these in the front.